Lisa Katz and Tracey Pakosta, co-president scripted programming, NBC Entertainment. In their roles, Lisa and Tracey are responsible for comedy and drama development, programming, casting, and diversity programming initiatives for NBC. When we talked, they gave me advice that truly impacted me. They told me that we often have to remind ourselves of how smart and worthy we are, and that what we have to say is important, and that we must speak up and make it known that it's important. They also reminded me that you can be both successful and kind, which contradicts what so many people have told me on my journey to this point. So to have two people exemplifying that ideal is truly awe-inspiring. They've both had many mentors along the way that have helped them get to this point, and now I hope they will also become my mentors. So Lisa and Tracey, please join me on stage to accept your award for inspiring women and girls to believe in themselves, recognize their values, and make their voices heard.
Thank you, Dessa. We have loved getting to know you and are so impressed by your intelligence, by your resilience, and by your commitment to advocacy, and we would be proud to be your mentors.
Absolutely. This luncheon recognizing amazing scholars like Dessa is one of our favorite annual events. It's always so inspiring, and we really connect with the mission to empower girls to be strong, smart, and bold. Their comprehensive approach, thoughtful programming, and commitment to advocacy makes us proud to support the organization year after year. Girls Inc. teaches girls to take risks, develop their inherent strengths, and to value themselves. These are important skills that we have learned throughout our own experiences, some of which we'd like to share with you today.
So when I was 5 years old, I was playing superheroes with my neighbors, who were boys. I was Wonder Woman, obviously. And I had the tinfoil wrist cuffs and my jump rope that doubled as my lasso of truth. And the game involved leaping from a tall building, or a dresser, and landing on a bed. I was reluctant to do it until one of the boys said, "You won't do it because you're a girl." And immediately I felt I had something to prove. So I climbed up, jumped, and guess what happened? I missed the bed and broke my arm. True story. So not exactly the outcome I was hoping for, but to this day, I'm proud of myself for taking the risk to jump off that dresser, because being bold and not sitting back being bold and breaking my arm was better than sitting back and letting those boys think they were right. And while that was a very literal leap, many years later, I took a figurative leap with my career. I was in a job where I didn't feel particularly recognized or valued. So when I had the opportunity to move on, I took it, even though I had no idea where I was going to land. This time, it turned out a lot better. Being willing to take that risk was so empowering, but ultimately led me to my current position, where Tracey and I have the opportunity to create an inclusive and supportive workplace where everyone feels appreciated.
Girls Inc. also teaches us about developing our inner strength and building communities. I learned at a young age how girls can help each other harness that power and use it to support and empower one another. When I was in elementary school, our neighbor's house was vandalized. I remember the adults cleaning up and trying to shield us from this horrible event, but we didn't want to be shielded. There were 6 girls between us, and we knew we were stronger than our parents believed. We together comforted each other, and we wanted to make a plan to help. We picked up the brooms, put every doll in place, and every car ready to roll. We did everything we could to get our friend's room ready to come back to feel safe in again. We were smart, strong, and we were determined to make things right again. That day, instead of feeling helpless about a situation we didn't have any control over, we learned how to make a different choice. We chose action over inaction. That gave a confidence we didn't know we had.
One of the lessons we both had to learn was not only valuing ourselves, but learning to express that in a way that helped others see our value. Throughout our careers, we've seen this issue come up for women time and time again. When I was looking to make the jump from assistant to executive, you all know what I'm talking about, I didn't break my arm, but I did encounter some obstacles. I assumed that I would be given a promotion because I'd earned it. I worked hard, I paid my dues, I consistently went above and beyond doing things for my department. So when it was time to ask for a title bump and a raise, I sat down with my boss and outlined all of the things I was currently doing and why I deserved to be moved up. And I was told it wasn't going to happen. I was disappointed and even started looking for another job. But then a few months later, I was unexpectedly given that promotion because I had stepped up. Truth be told, I had actually stopped putting in the extra energy and effort. So I didn't understand what had changed since my initial meeting. But what had changed was that my boss was now actively noticing my contributions because I had taken the time to let everyone around me know exactly what I was doing and why it mattered. And I believe it was that communication that led to me getting promoted. As girls, we're often raised to believe that acknowledging our strengths will cause us to be perceived as braggy. Here's what I know now. It's important. It is absolutely imperative to highlight your own accomplishments and make sure people are aware of your efforts.
Growing up, I was taught to be a very good listener. I lived by the principle that I should listen first and then share ideas. As I grew professionally, I carried that principle with me. And as an assistant, I would be lucky enough to sit in meetings with very powerful TV executives, and I would sit there and listen. In my head, this was a mark of a very thoughtful, quiet collaboration and deep understanding, all of which were good things, but it turned out I wasn't getting credit from those top executives for any of them. In fact, my mentor at the time pulled me aside after one of those meetings and said, if you don't speak up, they aren't going to realize how smart you are. And one of those people sitting around that table, they're going to take your job. And she was right. There were many men at my level sitting in that room who had no problem stepping in and sharing their opinions. I realized in that moment that as women, we add value to every conversation we are part of, and that we are the only ones who can make our voices heard.
And while it's critical to speak up, it's also critical to surround yourself with people who support you and your voice. We have found incredible supporters, and I know many of them are here today, whether it be mentors like Becky Clements or Jennifer Salke,
Or Suzanne Daniels, or our colleagues.
or the different circles we've created, including the Lower Loop ladies who are here today. It's a group of female TV agents and executives who spend one weekend together each fall with our kids and function as a real support system for each other the rest of the year, and we're very grateful for them. The Lower Loop ladies actually helped me make the decision to take that professional leap I mentioned earlier, and one woman was particularly vocal and persistent, and that was Suzanne Patmore-Gibbs, who passed away earlier this year. Suzanne was strong, so smart, and bold, and a champion of Girls Inc. And I know we'll be hearing more about her today, but we just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge her and tell you all how much she meant to us. And last but not least, we wanted to thank our families who are here today, our NBC family, and also my husband, Dan, my dad, Jack, my stepdad, Mark, there's a few of them, my sister, Jamie, and the original girl in my life who was my most important role model and showed me that being a kick-ass working mom was easy. It's not easy, but she made it look that way, Susan.
My husband, Jeff, my dad, Ira, and my amazing sister, Jen, who I always say is the greatest gift my parents ever gave me. And we also want to thank our sons, Josh and Charlie,
And Sam and Eli.
who we are also raising to be smart, strong, and bold, and to be respectful and allies of all girls.
So, thank you so much for including us today. And remember, believe in yourself, use your voice, cultivate a circle of support, and always, always take that leap. Thank you so much.